So we're going to talk about two future tanks that are definitely going to happen. I know I've made some videos on like future reef tanks and all that, and obviously that's stuff that I want to happen, but I don't know exactly if it will ever. Like I think the last time we did something like this was the future reef tank that I want to do, and it was kind of eh. It was kind of a maybe. It just all depends because that tank would cost around 6,500 that I would want to do because I'd want to. If I'm gonna do a reef, I'm gonna do a pretty insane one. So that was all that. But this is a little more. It's reasonable, and this stuff's actually gonna happen eventually. It's just wind. So obviously, we know where I'm at now ain't gonna be forever. So all these tanks are getting redone. Um, The 40-gallon bow front is gonna stay the same, which is obviously that tank right there. And then this tank, it's gonna be a similar setup, but we're gonna redo it. We're gonna use a lot of the same rocks. I'm gonna buy probably another 30 pounds of serious stone, and basically see what we can do. I'm gonna make it a little more of a better scape. Actually, really think it out and do something really insane because more than likely the next scape I do with this tank is gonna be with this tank forever. So um, that's why. And so these two are the next two tanks, basically. So this tank is gonna replace that tank behind me because obviously we're gonna get rid of the bow front. We're gonna change everything to rimless, and then this tank will be the third tank we're gonna do. Um, I don't know which one's going first. More than likely, now that I have everything in front of me and I can see it, I think we will do the bigger tank first because that tank, it has no bracing, and that thing, I'm surprised it's even made it this long. So I think we will have to do this one first, and this one's just kind of an extra tank. So I think this is more this is more for fun, I guess you could say, because another tank. Setting up a whole new tank is pretty fun. Um, so let's go through my little this. I bitted everything out. This is what it is. So basically, what I want to replace is I want to get UniS rimless tank. I was thinking ADA rimless tanks, but they get this amount of gallons for ADA was about I think like around 1,300, which I was not gonna do. So just because a tank, these are really high quality rimless tanks. So and as you can see, it's already very expensive. We're gonna go with the 68 gallons. We're definitely gonna have to get something bigger to hold that on, but it'll be a 68 gallon rimless tank, and this one will be planted this time. So we'll get rid of that scape that a lot of people don't really like half the time. I think it always looked good, but that tank was never made for plants. So this time this tank will be made for plants, and it's gonna be pretty insane. So obviously this tank's around 650. So the filter we're gonna go with is a Osei Biomaster 350, and obviously this is a newer filter. It's not really common to the US yet, so this is kind of a maybe. I might end up going with like an Eheim 600. It just all depends, but this filter is running around almost 600, and the reason I do want to go with this is because it comes the filter has it heater in it, so you don't have to have a heater in the tank, which is that'd be really nice, so we don't have to see it. The light, I think I'm going to stick with the same light, which is on this tank, and that's what I'm going to do for this tank too. I don't know yet. If we can't think of anything, then I will go with this light. It would be the Finex SE. If I do decide to do something more expensive, then I don't really know what light we'll go with yet. But for now, it's just the SE. So obviously substrate ADA, we're going to get 4 bags of 9 liter. That might be too much, might be too little, I don't know, but 4 bags should do it, and obviously it's going to cost around 200. Then for the Amazonian is going to go in the corners, and I'll show you guys on a piece of paper what I'm talking about. But in the front, the main substrate is going to be the 88 sand, which looks really nice, and we're going to get 2 bags of that, and that should be plenty. We might even have extra because I don't know if I'll put that much sand in there, because I don't really want a deep sand bed, just more cleaning. Then obviously part of the hardscape, we're gonna get 30 pounds of serious stone, actually times 2, so we'll have 60 pounds. This is just so I can have extra and have a more variety of like escape, so I can kind of have more options. Also because having less hardscape and less to choose from, it kind of limits what you can do. So I'm definitely gonna go crazy on the hardscape, and then the driftwood. More than likely I'm gonna go with manzanita, but I don't know. It's just depending what I find. But my budget, I don't have an exact amount, so I budget about 200 for driftwood. That's probably too high, but that's his. But again, that'd give me a lot of wood, so it'd make me a lot to work with. Then obviously I'm gonna get some glass pipes with the surface skimmer. Obviously you guys seen in all the fancy hardscapes or planted tanks, you see a lot of these glass pipes these days, and I'm gonna do the same. And this one will have a surface skimmer. Obviously, if you've seen some tanks recently, they've been having surface skimmers with them, which is pretty nice. So I'm definitely gonna do that, so I don't have to buy another Eheim skim like I do on the 20 gallon here. And then this is just CO2 stuff. I'm not really gonna go through this. You guys can kind of read it, but this is basically just the best stuff you can get for CO2. A lot of good stuff and a lot of fancy stuff. Obviously you can see the regulators. It's probably the most expensive thing here, and then just a lot of other stuff that we need for it. But then last thing is plants. I budgeted for about 150. Could be too high, too low, I don't know. More than likely I won't spend that much because it's a lot of just stem plants, which won't be that much. But yeah, that's a quick rundown of that tank. And obviously I got the total about almost 2,300, which is a lot, yes, but this tank is gonna be pretty insane, and I'm more than fine with that. So basically, for a quick, I'm gonna try to do this one-handed. If this is, I'm gonna try to do this through the camera. Let's see. This ain't gonna be a very good 3D drawing, but you guys will get the idea. So say this is the tank. Basically, we're gonna have, like, there's gonna be 2 hills of ADA in each corner, 2 high hills, and then there's gonna be, let's see, this is gonna be really bad, but there's gonna be wood obviously sticking out each direction like this, and obviously there's gonna be rocks. Let's see, try to do this. There's gonna be rocks going in the corners like that, and this will be serious stone, and then all of this will be sand. So it'll be a wide open spot. So if you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about, they'll be able to go behind here and behind here, but there'll be all this driftwood sticking out in each corner. There'll be plants, and actually this is actually kind of lied about this. There'll actually be more stuff back here where there'll be stem plants, but this will also be raised up. So this whole back area is basically gonna be raised, and then around this corner and this corner there'll be a lot of sand in the front and the middle. So basically this whole back section is going to be raised, and there's going to be a lot of plants back here, and then also there's going to be wood stick out in each corner like we said, and those we might cover those in moss, who knows. It just depends what I think will look good. So I don't want to get this video too long, but if we quickly run down, this is the tank that will have the Shudenti puffer eventually, and I don't know when I'm going to do this, but it's pretty similar, so I won't go too fast. But this will be a 44 rimless Uni-S, which will cost about 500. Again, expensive, but it's gonna be very nice feature. Same lily pipes, ADA soil. You can always see we get 2 bags of that. Same sand. Then obviously we'll have another 30 pounds of serious stone, and we'll talk about how I'm gonna use that too. Again, manzanita wood. And for the filter, I don't know if I wrote down, yeah, I didn't actually add a filter yet because I was not sure on this one yet. But if we do go with something else than a OSA, then we'll have a inline heater, so we don't have to see the heater again. And then again with the Finex, we'll just go with the same light that we have because I really like it. And then the plants shouldn't be that much because it's going to be a planted tank, but it's not going to be as much as these other tanks. So that'd be that. So total on this one is about almost 1,200, which is basically half of the other tank, which sounds about right. That's mining fish, and the thing about this tank is the fish is what's going to make it expensive. Shudenti and having zebra plectos as we planned is going to be probably another 500, maybe 600. So almost, it's going to be very close to the same price as the bigger tank. And basically the way I'm going to have this one, let's see here. So draw this one out. So again, we'll have very similar, but this one will have just it in one corner. Now this one, you're gonna think it's the same thing as this one, just like only do it one side, but it's actually gonna be really different. This one, you guys will see when I actually go to do it what I'm talking about, but this one is a little bit different. It's similar, but it's gonna be different in its own way. So again, we'll have, you know, we'll probably have a little bit longer driftwood going into the middle like this, and then obviously we'll have whatever sticking out, whatever, and then there'll be a lot of plants in this corner, and basically in this tank there'll just be plants in the corner, and all this will be open space for the Shidintai, or, you know, because obviously we don't need a lot of, you know, Shidintai really needs a lot of space to swim, so this will be a whole wide open of sand, and this whole area will be open. And again, we could probably do some moss on the branches. It just depends. And that's how that tank will look. I think this tank is definitely going to be the more planted one. It's probably going to be the most planted tank I do. There'll be an insane amount of plants for this one. This one, more than likely, just going to have, you know, a Nubius or a Bruce in the crevices of the rocks, and then we'll have probably nearly Java Fern growing through the middle. Maybe have a couple more stems in the corner. Maybe do some reds. Do something a little unique and cool. This will just be, I have no clue. I can't really tell you what I'm going to do yet, but definitely going to be a whole variety of plants, you know, probably 20 plus species of plants in this tank. We'll just do a whole mixture of plants back here and make it really cool. Something that's definitely going to, because obviously once we escape these, we're not not going to ever change them up really ever. Maybe the smaller tanks, but that's about it. These tanks are probably going to stay permanent once we do escape them, so I want to make them really cool from the beginning. But yeah, that's basically the future tanks. I know this video is really long, but for the people that like to see this stuff and hear about what I'm going to do, this is, you know, this is basically the future of the channel right here. What's going to happen, and, you know, it's going to be pretty cool. The price ain't going to be cool, but the tanks will be, and it's going to be a cool. Also, we're going to have not how-tos, but tutorials. We're going to have kind of like I did with the 20 grand. We're going to have a whole series of each tank, and from its beginning to, you know, to now, we're going to have just videos of it just progressing. And I like to do that because the 20 gallon, you could see how it started and see how it looks like now. So it's kind of cool to see how the tank changes over time, and that's pretty much why I do these tanks, and it'll be cool to see how these things look in the future. But other than that, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.